On August 19th, 2023, my entry, The Dark Athenium Ghosted, premiered during Plotagon's first film festival. If your project needs a ghost like this, here's how to haunt your very own Plotagon story. In order to follow along with this tutorial, you'll need a working knowledge of Plotagon and a third-party editing software that allows you to create at least 2 layers, or nodes, and adjust your movie clip's opacity, or alpha channel. For this tutorial, I'll be using Plotagon Story on my iPad and Adobe Premiere Pro on my desktop. If you use Plotagon Studio, the instructions are basically the same. In Plotagon Story, create a video as you normally would. Since this is about ghosts, I'm going to choose the scary place as my scene. And set it as an establishing shot so the viewer knows where the story's taking place. I'll add a crash test dummy because why not? Seems like a good character to try stuff out on. For contrast, I'll add a second character who's going to remain solid. Before I do that, I'll place the crash test dummy at middle right, and I'll tell you why in a minute. For my second character, let's add Dead Trigger's Tara Conlon. She's used to fighting zombies, so let's see how she handles a ghost. I'll put her middle left. Now, the reason I put the crash test dummy middle right is it adds objects behind him that will help sell the ghost effect later. Sure, you can place your ghost in front of a solid color, but as you can see here, the transparency effect won't be as immediate to the eye as when it can see objects and people through your ghost. Now you can add some animation and dialogue if you want. I'm a story guy, I always need a story, so let's tell a quick one here. Since he's a ghost, I'll have him playfully scare his friend Tara. Unfortunately, he scares her so badly he gives her a heart attack. He's surprised, because he didn't think he was all that scary, and immediately feels bad about what's happened. She giggles, and winks, letting him know she was just scaring him right back. He's relieved it was all just a joke, and happy that everything's turned out fine. The end. Once you have what you need, save it. More often than not, I choose export without subtitles, because I usually add my own later. When I use Plotagon Story, I share the video to Google Drive so I can upload it to my desktop where my editing software is. Some of you might skip this step since you may already have editing software on your mobile device. When the video file is where you need it to be, go back into Plotagon and reopen the story you just worked on. This time, I'm going to replace every instance of the crash test dummy with either of Plotagon's ghost actors. It's not important which one. What I like better about Plotagon Story than Plotagon Studio is when I replace the character in the scene, Story will automatically replace all instances of that character within that scene. In Studio, I have to replace every instance myself. Be sure to leave everything else as is, the actor's position, animation, and dialogue. You're only replacing the actor who is going to be transparent. That actor's attributes will now belong to the Plotagon ghost actor, maintaining the exact same timing as the previous video you saved. Maintaining your timing is important for the edit. Now that the ghost has replaced the crash test dummy, we are left with what's called a clean plate. In film, a clean plate is a still or footage of the background with nothing moving through it. This helps the effects artists add or subtract elements to help tell the story. Making a clean plate in Plotagon is super easy. In this example, I want Tara to remain solid, so I'm going to leave her in my clean plate as well. This will become clearer when we start editing. When you're done, save, export, and share the video just as you did the previous one. Now that we've gotten what we need from Plotagon, it's time to jump into our editor. Hopefully, you'll be able to easily adapt my process in Adobe Premiere Pro to whichever editing software you use. Create your project as you normally would. For Premiere users, you're going to want to be in the Effects workspace for this. If you're not in it already, go up to and click on Window, Workspaces, Effects. First, choose the clip you'd like to be on the bottom layer and place it on the timeline. This is where I add my clean plate. There's Tara with no one else in the scene. Then place the movie clip containing the actor you want to make transparent above it. And now there's Tara with a very solid crash test dummy. For this particular effect, it doesn't really matter which clip is on top. As a personal preference, I usually put my subject on top, in this case the crash test dummy, because the top layer is where I work on most, if not all, of my effects. Select the top clip, go to its opacity, or alpha channel depending on what you're using, and lower it to a number that works for you. Since we have Tara in both layers, it doesn't matter how transparent we make the top layer. She'll always show up as solid as long as the bottom layer's opacity is left at 100%. When you have what you want, export media as you normally would. And there you have it, your very own ghost. And it's that easy. Thank you for watching Plussing Plotagon. I hope this helps you plus your future plots. If you'd like to see how I use this effect, check out the Dark Athenium Ghosted by clicking the card to your right. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel for future tutorials and Plotagon stories, click on the Mad Doctor below it. Until next time, may you always find a way to share your stories.